Afternoon. How the devil are you? This is a very quick one this afternoon because it is a matter of urgency. I've put a QR code up there for all of you who want to be a candidate. You do have to be a party member. There's a couple of other things you need to do, but get as far as you can on your application form because we have a couple of training sessions over the next couple of days where you can come and you can be a candidate for the Party of Women. Now, let me just tell you why you should, because we have a need. Look, we've seen the great and the good, the political class, all have discussions about this without anybody really talking in words that we understand, and by that I mean the truth. I mean, they talk in riddles. They talk in, I believe in trans rights, for example, will be something they say. Nobody has any idea what that might mean. You might get someone like Keir Starmer say something on the lines of, "Hey, I believe in, I believe in sex and gender." What is gender? Does he really believe in gender? So, if you'd like to see an end to this, if you think that you can be the person to actually not talk in riddles, to talk directly to people in a way that they understand, i.e., straightforward, not riddles. I'm not talking about an extensive vocabulary. I'm talking about people that say things that mean something. And I think again and again, we see people talking with little feet in different camps and very much not able just to speak directly to you. So I want to get rid of that. I'm sure you want to get rid of that. And I think local council elections is exactly the place where you can start. Now, you may think you're not fit for this. So I just want to tell you, I want you to put yourself in this particular mindset, right? You say to yourself, right, have I ever defended anyone? Have I ever been into school and defended my child? Have I ever attended a school meeting and spoken up and defended my son or my daughter? Have I ever been in a work situation where I've defended someone? Have I ever been out on, when I'm having a night out with friends, when we've had someone wanted company or attention and I've stepped in? If the answer to that is yes, then I think you're more than capable of being a local councillor. In addition to that, there are other roles where people aren't particularly vocal. You don't have to stand up in the middle of a crowded room and you don't have to ask questions. You don't have to do any of those things. There's many ways in local government of actually making a difference. If you really think that you're not the person that's going to call out in the middle of a meeting or ask a question or say something that nobody else is saying and raise your head above the parapet in that way, there might be other ways you can work. You might be able to inform people. You might be able to exchange information with people. You might be able to have conversations and gradually do your work like that. So I just want you to imagine that you'll meet counsellors all the time. None of them will be particularly remarkable. Nobody will strike you as, oh, well, that person seems like a counsellor. That person seems like they're probably on the local council. And so I want you to be the people to step forward. And I want you to remember that you can't rely on the woman next to you doing it. You can't, because maybe she won't. And maybe she's relying on you. Maybe she's thinking that you're the you're definitely going to do it. You've been talking about this stuff for years. You're definitely going to do it. So she doesn't need to. If that's the case, why don't you ask her if she's running and why don't you see if she wants to do it with you? It will make it a lot more fun, which I think is part and parcel of everything we do here at Party of Women. Is it's a little bit tongue in cheek. It's very fun, but it's ultimately extraordinarily serious what we are doing. We are going to put ordinary, straight talking people back into politics. And the way we're going to do it is the first wave will be during the local elections or the police and crime commissioners. And then we'll be doing it in the general election. And remember, the whole point of everything we do is so that we can be the voice for the voiceless. We can actually raise the questions that we know that all of our female friends and relatives would want to ask if they were in our situation. So I want you just to bear that in mind because at the end of all of this, you'll have to look at yourself and you'll have to ask, did I do enough? Could I have done a little bit more? Why didn't I go for that council? Why didn't I go and take a seat in our local parliament? Why didn't I bother? Why did I leave it to someone else? Maybe if I'd done something, it all would have been just a little bit more quickly resolved. And this is the place where if you want your actual point of view represented in your local government, I think you just have to reflect upon what's been happening in the last few weeks within our particular movement, which is that lots of people who are willing to compromise are stepping forward and they're not asking you what to say, they are speaking and they are claiming to speak for you. And the only way you can stop people speaking for you is by speaking yourself. And so you have to come up with now, not why should I do it, but why shouldn't you? What excuse do you have that when women needed somebody to step up and speak, why couldn't that be you? Why wasn't it you? You've got 24 hours, and then we're going to be sending invitations out to different training sessions to see which one you can meet. So, what you have to do, check that you're registered on the electoral roll. Check that the two people who nominate you are also in the ward where you want to be a candidate and that they are qualified to nominate you. You need to check when your closing date for those applications is. We think it will be the 6th of April. And you have to check that when your next local election is. If you can check all of those things, use a QR code, scan, and apply to be a candidate. If you're a little bit worried about that form filling, have your laptops ready and we will do it with you tomorrow. We have the extraordinary Mandy Clare, who is very, very proficient in this area and understands exactly what it takes to campaign and to make a really good go of it. And we will give you the best chance possible as to getting elected in a relatively minor party. And by minor, I mean we have one councillor. So this is what it's going to take. I trusted each and every one of you that you are going to do your level best, and we are going to help you, and we are going to offer support. And all around, there will be women in different pockets of the country who are actually putting their head above the parapet. And just remember, if you get elected as a local candidate, you can still be an MP. So don't let that stop you. But do try the electoral process and see how it works as a practice run at the very worst. But the very best, maybe this will be your next great adventure. Okay, I'm back tonight at 8 o'clock for TERF Talk. Have a fabulous afternoon. Please register to be a candidate. And if you can't do that, we love your money and we would love you to be a member because the more members we have, the more powerful we become, the more conversations we create, the sooner this absolute nonsense